Are you listening? Damn.
Hey guys, I'm Courtney,
And I'm Josh.
and welcome to the Infinite Balance Podcast.
We'll navigate parenting, relationships, health, fitness, and so much more.
So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's hang out.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up?
So me and Courtney have had to switch things up again for this week's episode. We are using new audio equipment that I'm very excited about. Finally, we're able to upgrade a little bit. So we're playing around with the sound. We got these awesome little tracks.
Oh my god, guys, we're in for it.
There's no lightning sound yet, though. So I have to record myself going,
I mean, you don't have to.
I have to. So yeah, we're undergoing a lot of changes. That's the main reason why we haven't had any of the video up. It's been just, the vocals for the podcast and such. But there's a lot of interesting things coming. We're reorganizing our office space, like literally reconstructing to a certain degree.
Like, we have a built-in desk that we're tearing down, type of like rebuilding our desk area.
And I am so excited.
We're both pretty excited.
So stoked. So yeah, there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of mess. There's a lot of, stuff going on, but it's all fun. And hopefully within the next couple of weeks, it'll come together a little bit better. But yeah, it's been an interesting week so far. This is my first official all overnight week. And, there's some bumpy spots, I think, mostly with getting used to the schedule. But other than that, everything worked out pretty well, I think,
Yeah, I think we touched on it a little bit last week about the transitions of overnight. But this week, I think, gave us a really good sense of what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
And it's not as bad as I think the first week had been.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely because it also wasn't me working during the day and then going to overnight and then having to figure out sleep on the fly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got the opportunity to sleep a little bit more this week thanks to you being home, the couple of days that you were home. But I think it definitely went a lot better. The nap sleeping went a lot better than I thought it would. And it's been a good week. It's been a productive week. Sort of. And
it's been a productive week.
Yeah, more behind the scenes than in front of, what's socials and stuff like that. But, a lot's coming together. So it's fun. It's interesting. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm interested to learn with the Skillshare thing that we started. My favorite thing so far is the new audio equipment.
Very exciting, guys.
I am thoroughly digging it.
It's an adventure for us.
Yes. Why is the graveyard so busy?
Because everyone's dying to get in. Wrong one. Why did I get that?
Because it was a dad joke. Dads are supposed to do it.
Oh, my gosh.
These sounds will not stay. We just haven't had the chance to put in new sounds and stuff. Yeah. So I think the most important thing to this week has been time management pretty much in how we're doing everything. I was able to focus on getting my workouts in, getting enough sleep so that I didn't feel sleep deprived and I felt rested.
But still getting time with the kids.
Yeah. So, and that was one of my main things is regardless of what I did, I wanted to still make sure I got time.
Yeah.
Especially with them, like the last minute dinner thing.
Yeah.
It was something we both needed to adjust with. And, I had asked that just in the future, just give me a heads up so I can be up and awake and stuff like that a little bit, plan for it a little bit better. And that's how it goes when you're working overnights. Like,
yeah.
if
when you live with my parents who at noon or like, hey, let's
Yeah.
go to dinner tonight.
Yeah. And I don't want to be a pain about it. Like, it was nice to go out and have dinner. It was nice to have the kids come out and, they enjoyed it. And I wanted to spend time with them because, if I'm sleeping, most of the day, like when you're home, the time I do get with them is even more precious.
Yeah. And adjustments like that. And, we have to make adjustments with better communication with each other, like letting me know what time you do have an alarm set for, or I'd like to sleep till this time. Just the same type of adjustments, that's what stuff that we're both working on.
Yeah. And it's interesting, but we're working together as a team. And I think that's the most important part. This is such a necessary change, regardless of what we have to go through to accomplish this. Like, this is already helping so much in achieving our goals.
Yeah.
Our debts are completely paid. And we're able to progress, and we're able to finally pursue things that we want to put into our everyday practice for our businesses, for the podcast. And, it's just all great stuff that we can push for,
It's exciting. No, it's good. Like Josh said, time management. I mean, that's something that, especially lately, we've been talking about for me, is that not that I'm bad at time management, but I have a tendency to not stop working. And part of that goes in with that my full-time job, I am always on call. This morning, 7:00, I'm making breakfast for the kids and I have to deal with a bus emergency. That's just part of the job. And I knew that when I got it. But because of that, now having my own business, I have not been very good at like trying to do stuff throughout the day. Where with the rebrand that's happening on Friday, for me, yeah. So you guys will hear about that.
Wait, let me see if there's a sound for it. That's good enough for now.
There is an applause one. You've got to like.
No, I wanted it like like the Maui chant. Courtney.
Anyway,
you're so amazing.
I do love that chant. Everyone should have that chant. So with the rebrand happening on Friday, with this business, the big goal is obviously to make more money, but to also work less hours. And one of the ways I have to be a lot better about that is setting business hours that I stick to, which, I mean, right now I'm having a little bit of a hard time, but that's because I'm excited and I'm trying to work in the naps and the outside play times to get stuff created so that when the rebrand happens, I've got my content kind of lined up and I'm putting a lot of research into it. And, but the goal is to not be having to work while I'm with the kids. And I think I have a pretty good schedule idea of what I would like it to look like when I do my work hours. But we'll see once we really get into it. But, figuring out new schedules is the name of our game.
And this is from two people who have, in their own right, have issues with time management. Like I have a lot
very different ways.
I have a lot of issues with being on time style time management and budgeting my time. And you have a lot of issues with budgeting your time in general, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm really good at being early to things. Which in some situations is not always good. Yeah, because I get very stressed about it. Because it's not being on time, it's being early. I need to be early. I don't like the possibility of being late. It makes me very anxious.
Sometimes even up to a half hour early.
Yes. It's not on purpose.
But,
I just account for traffic that doesn't always happen. But that's besides the point. I'm not good at structuring my time. That's what not necessarily budgeting my time, structuring it to be what's best for the family.
Right. Yeah. And it's I got to give you credit where credit's due, because I know I'm a pain in the butt when it comes to time management, and being somebody with like an ADHD mental background, Mix. I actually did podcasts on it. It's not out yet, but it will be soon. Car Thoughts. Yeah, it's a part of the Balancing Vitality podcast that I do while I'm in my car and just random stuff I think about. Which one of them was time management and living with that with ADD, ADHD, and OCD. Because it's not just that I can get distracted on the fly, and then ADHD and ADD people have a majorly huge time issue with realizing time. It's almost like time flows differently in our minds, and it depends on if we're hyper focused or if we're super distracted or how much pressure is on, and it happens to everybody, but it seems to be magnified. And I think you've done a good job in trying to maintain your thoughts about time and trying not to trying to work with me on that. And help me like get better through that. And also the obsessive part where like sometimes my routines will, I used to be late for work, probably about 10, 15 years ago now. I would be late for work because I had to check the lock on my front door 15 times. Sometimes I'd walk around the apartment building, get to my car and be like, damn, did I lock the door? And I might know I did, but that obsessive, if I didn't get control of that obsession drove me to walk all the way back around, make sure it was locked. Because to me, I'd rather be 10, 15 minutes late to work than have my apartment robbed. You know what I mean? So I was very obsessive in those ways too. But it took a lot to get that under control. And I think you saw that when I used to set my alarm clocks at night. Sometimes I would have to check my alarm clock 10, 15 times.
Yeah, Josh would literally check it, lay down, give me a kiss goodnight, and then he'd be like, I gotta check my alarm. And I'd be like, you just checked it. You just checked it.
And I literally had to have that as a mantra at one point to just stop doing that. And like I would lay in bed and be like, I checked my alarm. I know I checked my alarm. It's fine,
Yeah.
And actually, that's one thing that smartphones kind of help me with, because once you set your alarm, you have that little alarm icon. So like there'd be like, if I ever doubted it, I could just look real quick. Yep, alarm icon's on. Boom.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
Because that happens to me too. Because I sometimes I know I'll turn it on, but I have a history of where I'll turn it on, but it's set for PM
Right.
instead of AM. So I have moments where I do that.
Well, and the other part of that too is like I have a main alarm that like I keep set.
Yeah.
So I know it's automatically set, and it never fails me. The one time it does, that might be a problem, but it works for now. But I think the main key, going back to our original point for the episode, is some key, like one of the biggest key things, especially for somebody with my background, I think is, I think both of us, is prioritization.
Yes.
That's like the big nuclear bomb of time management is, you got to look at things like, is everything else, like if you could be doing 10, 15 things at a time, which one of those is getting the most prioritization in your mind? Yeah. What's more important to you? Is it more important to do A, B, and C? Or is it the most important to do D right now, get it taken care of, and then A, B, and C will work out?
I will say that's one of the things that in my morning routine, I write down my 3 most important goals for the day. So it's like my little to-do list. And it takes a couple of minutes to do it because I want to pick the 3 things that are that need to get done. They're the top priority. There are other things. I have way more than 3 things to do in a day. But focusing on just 3 things on a small number is way more manageable mentally, because and like you just said, you have to pick the most important things with prioritizing is, okay, what is actually important and what doesn't really need to get done today. And I have found that to be extremely helpful, of that reminder in the mornings, like, okay, I need to get this done, this done, this done. And then because while I'm thinking about that, I'm like, oh, but I also have to run to Target and get deodorant, and oh, I want to get the car wash today, and oh, I've got to stop at the bank. And it's like, okay, but those don't need to be done today.
Right.
And they're in my head, but it's also like, if I don't do it today, that's okay.
Yeah. And that I was actually just going to write down. I think people mistake prioritization for efficiency a lot of cases. I know I do that. And if I have 15 things to do for the day, including getting car washed and doing this, doing that, going to get gas, going to get whatever, I often look at it as, how can I get the most done in the shortest amount of time? And efficiency is not proper time management. It is if you like line it up with your top priorities.
Yeah.
But it goes back to an exercise that I learned about at IIN. It's called the big rocks in practice. And what it is like, if you fill a jar with all your small rocks, the jar is going to hold the same amount of stuff, essentially. But if you fill it up with all your small rocks and then try to stuff your big rocks in there, it's not going to work. You're not going to fit as much as you possibly can in efficiently well. But if you put your big rocks in first and then you put the small rocks in, they will fill in the gaps, they will fill in the spaces, and the most you can possibly get done with those important things is what you will get done. Like it'll help you manage your time and effort that you put into specific things and teach you, like, okay, I know going to get the car repaired is a big thing.
I need to do that.
I need to do that before I get windshield wiper fluid, gas, and tires rotated, for example. You know?
Yeah, you need to get the car serviced before you get it washed.
Right. And
the washing can happen in the cracks of your day.
Yeah. And especially when there's so many things, like I'm a big thing for, like, I need to get the car washed. I need to go get groceries. I need to drop the kids off and pick the kids up and whatever. And the fun thing about that is you can outsource some things. You can get groceries delivered now. You can do things like that. And no matter your thoughts about, like, the ease of technology and things like that, because I fall into that trap once in a while, use what you have to help you prioritize what's important. If you can outsource something that's not that important, do it. You know, if you have the means to be able to do that, then do it.
Don't drive yourself crazy if you don't need to. If you need to spend $10 to get 20 extra free minutes in your day to spend with your family, guess what?
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
It is time well spent.
Yeah.
Money well spent and time well spent, I guess.
And I think that's a good way to look at it too when it comes to outsourcing to be more efficient. If outsourcing things is going to allow you more time to get the task done that you need to get done, or spend more time with your family because you've been away for 2 weeks, that's going to help you prioritize too what's something you need to do and what's something you can let someone else do.
Right. And it's you can look at it on a wider scale too. It's like you're kind of outsourcing your learning process in a way with your business and stuff like that. And it's in order to help you maintain your sanity, really.
Yeah.
You know, you're learning effective business techniques. You're learning different things that you may have come across yourself, but God knows how long it would have taken. We have 3 kids. You have a job, you have a full-time job, you have a business. And, you know, with all the craziness with my schedule and stuff, you know, you're outsourcing that, not in a bad way. You're outsourcing that in a way to maintain your sanity and grow efficiently.
Yeah.
Rather than just having somebody do it for you.
Yeah. And that was, I mean, that's why I got in touch with her, because I knew where I had to go, but not really, apparently. I thought I knew where I had to go. And, you know, I've mentioned that there's rebranding happening, and with rebranding, I'm starting from scratch, basically. But in a good way, because I'm starting from scratch the right way. You know, I have a tendency to jump head into things, and that's fine. But she's helping me see how to slow down with it.
And how to focus a little bit.
Yeah, like how to focus that so I can still do those, like, jump in head first things, but I'm not like, okay, well now I need to post it and I'm like, okay, well I did it. So I got that out of my system, but okay, let's bring it back to what I need to do. Okay. I need to do some researching where in the past, there wasn't really researching happening. It was like, okay, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So it's helping me streamline my thought process and prioritize what do I need to do today.
Yeah, I relate us both. I was thinking about it the other day. I relate us both to the Hulk in how we've kind of approached our business techniques and, you know, how we've approached a lot of things in our lives where in one of the lines in one of the movies, I don't remember when or where, the guy, Bruce Banner, who turns into the Hulk, was saying, you know, I just go into this ballistic mode and I just kind of try to aim the missile and fire. And whatever happens after that is kind of his learning process. So I see that as us. Like we were kind of going in it like as strong as we possibly could. Like if we fail, we fail. We'll learn the lesson. We'll move. We'll grow. We'll do stuff like that. But I feel like she's giving you a direction, and she, you know, she's like giving you something to hone in and focus your beast on so that you can go headstrong into it, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, like I said, one of the best ways of doing that with starting your own business is lists. And I never thought research. I have been doing more research into what I'm going to be posting on my page than I think I've ever done. You know, I'm not just looking at like one source. I'm looking at 10 sources, and whatever there's a common information or has the better source of where it came from, that's what I'm going to give my followers.
Right.
I'm making sure I'm giving them quality content, coming up with my captions. Like I'm putting a lot of thought into it, where in the past, it was like, oh, I like this picture because I want to talk about shakes and it's a cool picture of me with my shake. So, okay, now I need a caption. What am I going to do? And then just typing, which it's fine to do that, but that was every post. You know, it wasn't necessarily substantial information. So I'm prioritizing ahead of time now. I'm getting those out of the way so that when it comes time to post, I can post and then focus on client work and focus on whatever else I need to focus on that's going to be a higher priority at that time.
Right. Yeah.
Because Instagram posts, they're great, but they don't need to take up your entire day.
And a big important thing about that, especially if you're like a influencer status or if you're trying to build your business, Instagram is not the only resource that you have. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter are not the only resources you have. Not even YouTube is the only resource you have. There's so many mediums and so many different things to try. There's a whole social network. I forgot what it's called, but I found it. It's not available on Android yet, but it's supposed to be later in 2021. That a lot of...
Clubhouse?
Maybe.
I have Clubhouse.
I don't remember. It's not available on Android, though.
I have it on the iPad.
Yeah. So, and that is where a lot of like my holistic and wellness people are going to. And I'm like, wow, like like seeing others post about that and like just reading about it, I was like, I never even knew this existed, you know? And just open your mind, look it up, go on Reddit, go on Google, go look things up, do the research and try to get as much information as you can before you sell your soul on one medium.
I will say about Clubhouse, one thing that it is like podcasts and personal development had this beautiful, beautiful baby where you get...
And they named it Josh?
And they named it Clubhouse.
Josh's Clubhouse?
If it's your account, yeah.
Well,
but it's because you can, I mean, Elon Musk is on there. The first one that came to my mind, but there's so many people and experts in their field, and they go on and like, they're just talking about their field and how they got there, and they give advice, and it's free.
Yeah.
It's a free service, and it sucks it's not on Android yet, but I cannot wait for it to be. But it is you can learn so much. You can learn, you can reflect, you can meditate. There are so many different things that you can do. You know, I have been listening to The Miracle Morning, an Audible book. There's a Miracle Morning clubhouse chat that you can jump in every morning at 8:00 and do your miracle morning with other people. They will walk you through it. Like,
Nice.
It's mind blowing what you can do with this app.
Cool.
Sorry
Yeah.
for that rant.
No, and it's, you know, it's stuff like that, and it's new and it's unusual and it's stuff that people haven't really discovered yet. So break into it, you know, don't be afraid to try new things. You can stick with your old mediums. You can go with your new stuff, you know, don't be afraid to try. But I think, you know, the point of all this is put the time into what deserves your time. Prioritize, because like we said before, efficiency is not necessarily the best tool that you have. Once you prioritize, efficiency goes kind of hand in hand with that, and it benefits you, but don't focus on getting as much done as you can or getting the most done that you can possibly handle. Prioritize.
Spend the time on the things that matter.
Right.
You go first. I went first the last 2 times.
If you had to pick your favorite character from Thomas the Tank Engine, what would it be?
Not Thomas. Guys, he's gonna not have this thing. He's not gonna have it. I definitely not Thomas. I don't like Thomas. He is whiny. He is whiny as can be. I think that's why Philip's so whiny.
So is Daniel Tiger, but we got used to that.
No, I don't like Daniel Tiger. I like everyone else on the show, but Daniel Tiger is a baby. I don't know enough of their names. I kind of like the Cranky. I think I like Cranky.
Cranky?
This is so much about me. I don't like that he's cranky. I just like that he gets to see everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he gets such a great view. And then he had, in one episode, there was like a new crank. I liked that new crank, but I don't know that crank's name. So the 2 cranks are probably my favorite.
Your favorite?
Yeah.
There's a third one that just appeared out of nowhere in one episode. Even Cranky, like, they made it a thing in the episode. Cranky was like, "Who are you?" He's like, the other guy's like, I've been here. I just didn't feel like talking.
No, yeah. That's one thing I do like about that show is that, like, they throw that stuff in there. Some of the older episodes, though, like the originals that are like claymation or whatever,
When they were voiced by like Alec Baldwin and George Carl.
Those like super beginning ones. Some of the morals are not great. Like there was a train that got painted, so it didn't want to go in the rain, so they built a brick wall so he couldn't get out of the tunnel.
Sir Topham Hatt, sick AF.
Like that's, I don't know what the lesson is in that, but that's mean.
The lesson is don't F with Sir Topham Hatt.
But so we should watch the newer episodes, not the older ones.
And I never cared for Thomas. It's thanks to Michael and Philip. Michael first and then Philip followed suit that I even watched those shows with them. Was I used to hate Thomas the Tank Engine. Still do. But, you know, so you find ways to survive in situations like that.
It.
Yeah.
One show our kids will never, ever watch, and I'm so happy it was canceled.
Flippy.
Caillou.
Yeah, I've never watched
We never
that.
showed that to our kids because I refused, and they finally canceled it.
I don't even pay attention to it.
Anyway.
This is fun.
I'm going to find a way to disable it. What is your absolute favorite thing about this new job? Absolute favorite so far.
Every second of every day is different.
You need that.
Yes, because it keeps my interest. It maintains my focus, and the day goes.
And you're always learning.
Yeah. like 10 hours straight, the day flies by.
That's
Night,
cool.
whatever it is.
It feels like a day.
Yeah. But, and it's a lot of good energy people. It's a lot of, like, I love being able to see the pets and, like, the different breeds. We have everything from lizards and skinks and exotic animals, regular pet, cats, dogs, ferrets, the basic stuff, So it's just interesting to see all the different stuff that comes through the door, and, like, nothing's ever the same,
Which is cool.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about the new recording equipment?
That I can hear you in my headphones. That was super annoying with the old setup, was that I could hear me, but I couldn't hear you. So I always had to have like one side off, of like one ear not on my ear.
Just to record for you guys, we've done what we could. we've
I mean,
survived.
I could hear you through my head, like over it.
Yeah.
You weren't coming through in my headphones. And so when you first hooked this up and you're like, oh, come just try it out. And you started talking, I was like, poof, mind explosion. I can hear you in my headset.
Yeah, we don't have to like yell at each other or whatever to
like, I think you're being loud.
Yeah.
Because I can tell.
Yeah. Now we have the levels to tell us and all the interesting stuff that's going on. The dings and doodads and bobbles all over the place. It's cool. I like it.
It's legit.
GG.
Was it my turn to ask you? I don't remember. Okay. Without giving it away, what are you excited for with my rebrand? Or like so far in the process, like what are you like, what is bringing you joy, or well, like I said, without giving it away?
Well, I can't really give it away because I don't know 100% what it is. Because I think like, I think it's going to be a good step for you. And I think you feel more confident about it. So you're going to be more confident, more powerful with it. That's going to be my favorite thing.
And the reason Josh doesn't know fully what it is not because it's a secret from him. It's more because, and we talked about this last week, where I have to be more confident in my decisions. So instead of being like, oh, what do you think about this? I'm just kind of like, oh, well, I did this today, or this is the direction I'm going. And I'm kind of keeping things close to the chest. Again, not to keep a secret from Josh, just because I need to sit with things just myself now and be confident that I am making a good decision. And I think because of that, I am feeling more confident in the decision.
Yeah.
I'm like, I fully have ownership and pride in what I'm doing because it's fully me. Everything I'm doing is me. It's my concept and it's what's coming from my head. And I'm like, yes, this is what I want to see. This is how I want to see it. I'm not following anybody else's guidelines. I'm not looking at past, oh, well, this person did this for their stories to get them interested. Like, this is just me. I'm doing research and looking at other people's things at what does well.
Yeah.
But everything I have put into this so far is fully me.
And you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see you're happier with the work that you're doing. You can see that you're more excited about it,
And it's funny because the work isn't taking as long. Yes, I'm doing more because I'm researching, but it's not like sitting all day on the same project.
Yeah.
So just wanted to explain why Josh doesn't fully know what's going on.
Yeah. No, I'm happy about it. So, well, this has been a good episode. Let us know if, what you guys think of the new sound setup. This isn't 100% tuned, I don't feel like. Well, I'm going to be listening to it and, doing whatever adjustments need to be done after the fact. But, so the next episode or whatever might sound better. But let us know what you think. If you want any information on how we changed our setup, we'll invite you along the journey. We have
Maybe some behind the scenes.
I was gonna say we have like a Patreon if you want to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and recordings that we do for our patrons and things like that. Check out the link in our show notes and link in our bio on our Instagram, stuff like that. If you want to get in touch with me and Courtney, if you want to order some Orgain,
use code COURT8, COURT, the number 8, all capitals.
She gets a small kickback from that. I don't, but I guess we share it in a way.
We share a bank account. So.
Yeah. But, I have always made it such a big thing that I don't advertise for anybody unless I fully support their products. And Orgain has not failed me yet.
And this is not a paid ad.
No, this is not at all a paid
product.
Yeah, this is she is affiliated. She does get like a little bit of kickback if you use her codes and such. But it's a lot of good stuff. They have all vegan, non-GMO, organic protein powders, energy supplements, immunity boosters,
recovery, and literally superfood, anything you could think of.
Yep. We're actually our son Michael, since he's a metabolism stick figure, we were actually concerned that he's not gaining enough weight because he's 5.5 years old. And you can see his ribs, and this kid eats like crazy. He's a monster eater. So we got some nutrient shakes for him just to make sure he's getting everything he needs.
And it's the first product, sorry to interrupt, it is like the first product where I'm confident in giving him it. I'm very particular if I'm going to give my kid some sort of protein drink. I want to know that it's good for him.
Yeah.
And this is like the first one where everyone I know is like, oh my God, I've heard that's really, really good for kids. And like doing our research, like this is one we're confident in. And
you can ask Courtney because I'm sure she gets annoyed at it sometimes. But like when she was getting a lot of the Beachbody stuff, I was very scrutinous about the ingredients. I read ingredient labels forever.
It's why we don't go grocery shopping together.
Yeah. And because I want to know whatever I'm putting into my body, my kids' bodies, my family's bodies, I approve of. So Orgain has been, there for us, especially this past year. And I've been using it for, I think, at least 3 years now since we lived in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, I mean, we did have a break with the Beachbody stuff from it because we were getting it and the ingredients in it were good, but then cost.
Yeah.
And after comparing them, I do prefer the Orgain ingredients and the options.
And one thing I'm a pain in the butt about is how well it blends. And Orgain, I can pour the powder in, shake it up, and it blends.
Yeah, it's really
properly. Good. So it's good stuff. Check out all that greatness, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.